Well, now we've all heard the expression in the business world, it's not what you know, but it's who you know. And I guess in many applications of our modern business environment, that has a lot of relevance, and we may have all benefited from that every now and then. However, Jesus uses that expression, but in an entirely different way, with a much more complete application that should help us as Christians understand about who we know. In John chapter 14, verse 6, Jesus had just told his disciples that he was the way, the truth, and the life, and that no one would come to the Father but through him. He then begins a discussion in verse 7 by saying, if you had known me, you would have known my Father also, and from now on you know him and have seen him. And then Philip, one of the disciples, said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and it is sufficient for us. Jesus then answered him, and he said, have I been with you so long, and yet you have not known me, Philip? He who has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say, show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak, I do not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does the works. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the sake of the works themselves. The word know, K-N-O-W, is used about 91 times in the Gospel of John, according to those who have counted. And there are different levels of that word. There's the lowest level of knowing a fact, and you just know a fact, and it doesn't change much. But as you develop in the Gospel of John, and really in the entire Bible, that word know, knowledge is power, it develops from just a fact, that you've memorized a fact, to you have a relationship with, that you're invested in. And Jesus says that if you know me, and he's talking about that much deeper kind of knowledge, not just this superficial fact knowledge. If you know me, you know the Father. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Jesus really is saying here that he's God, and that if we want to know God, then we need to know Jesus. And the more we know about Jesus, and the more we study the Word, and we study about the life of Christ, and the more we understand his teachings, the more we know God, and the more our faith is strengthened, and the more we come to the Father through Jesus, because they're really one and the same. And in that sense, it's not just what we know, it's also who we know, but it's what we know about who we know. So I ask you, do you know him?